Inniswell Ministries International presents Midweek Message. Hi, family. Well, family, we're doing Revelation chapter 7. Let's go. So, the scene is set up 4 angels on the 4 corners of the earth, north, south, east, west. They stopped all the wind from blowing on the earth, over the ocean, no more wind. So an angel that was sealed with God's seal came down and said, "Look, don't do it, because these angels were given permission to destroy stuff." And they're like, "Hold up, don't do anything until we get the sealed. Like, get God the no, don't destroy anything until we seal the servants of God in their forehead." Their number is 144,000. Now, 12,000 people from each tribe. Now, I don't know if it's 12,000 men, because you know how they would count the men, but then the women and the children would be included. So I don't know if it's like that. So, and I'm not going to read into it. I'm just going to give it to you exactly how it says. So 12,000 from each tribe: Judah, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. And so Manasseh was Joseph's son too, but I'm going to assume Joseph is standing in for Ephraim. Now, who is missing is Dan. And so I'm kind of looking it up, like, why did Dan not get included in the 144,000? And so from what I'm reading, Dan became idol worshipers. And so in further reading, there is a tribe of Dan in Africa near Liberia. They are called the Yehuda, or Ya, no, Yakuba, or Yakubi, or something like that. Guess what? I think we found one of the lost tribes, except for they're not going to be sealed. And apparently they're still idol worshiping too. Okay, so that's enough of that. Lo, I saw a great multitude, bigger than any man could number, of all nations, kindreds, peoples, and tongues. They stood before the Lamb with white robes and palms in their hands, saying, "Salvation to God and the Lamb." So, okay, wait a minute. That's not right. All right, so the elder said to John, uh, all right, well, let me set this scene, because they're setting the scene. So all the great multitude were worshiping before the Lamb, stood before the Lamb. And then all the angels, elders, and the 4 beasts all fell on their faces and worshiped also. One of the elders said, "These are they which came out of the great tribulation and have washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb." And we're going through the tribulation. Some of us are going through the tribulation, and we have to get right. Therefore, they are before the throne of God and serve him day and night, and he shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, thirst no more, no sunlight on them, nor heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them and lead them unto the living fountains of water, and God shall wipe away their tears. Yo, I that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I loved the visuals on chapter 7. And I love that there'll be no more tears. I'm going to miss the sunlight, but I think God shines like that. So I think we like the sunlight so much because it shines like that. God shines like that. So I think we'll be, yeah, very. I like chapter 7. Um, it said all people, like not all people, but numbers from all nations. And so we're grafted in, y'all, but we might have to see a little tribulation. But that's beautiful of the grafting in and knowing about Dan. Dan got kicked out. Dan doesn't make it to heaven. And we know where Dan is. So Dan being near where Liberia is now, that goes to show us that again, Israel, the tribes of Israel, when there was trouble, would run into Africa. And so just like they would run to Egypt, Joseph took Mary and Jesus into Egypt to hide, right? How many times do we hear about them going into Egypt to hide? So we already know they were going to Africa to hide anyway. But now we find out that Dan was all the way over in Liberia, which I don't know what it was when they got there, but it's Liberia now. So they're like near there. They're not in Liberia, but they're near there. Wow. Okay. Well, read chapter 8 because this is starting to get good. This is better than the National Enquirer with the end time gossip. Join us again next time when Innis Will Ministries International presents Midweek Message. Until then, bye.